Welcome back to BT. As Russian attacks continue in Ukraine, millions are fleeing the country, but some families say that they are forced to stay back because traveling can be difficult and dangerous, especially with young children. Joining us live now from Ukraine is Darina Smotryska, an English teacher who is now finding herself fleeing the war zones in Ukraine with her two children. Darina, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me and telling my story.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, we want to start with where you are right now, because right now you are in a vehicle. You are traveling as we speak.
Yeah, actually, I'm in the Western Ukraine in city Lviv because we were considering it a kind of safe place because Russians haven't reached there. But this night, they've been a couple of massive attacks in the nearby cities in the Western Ukraine. So it was Lutsk and Ivano-Frankivsk, and they hit airdromes and also some kind of civil places, and that's why we decided to move on. Maybe I suppose that maybe we will move it abroad. I was hoping not to do that because my husband stayed in Ukraine, my mother stayed in Ukraine, but for the sake of my two kids, I have to move forward. I think it's not safe anymore here.
And that's it. So this is not the first time that you've had to move locations because of the changing situation and the developments and where the bombings and the shellings are taking place. You've moved quite a bit.
Yes, we've been moving. By the way, 2 weeks ago, I thought that I was not capable of traveling to the next city near mine, but these 2 weeks showed me that I'm stronger than I thought of myself. So it started from my native city, Brovary. There was a massive hit by the missiles, 4 o'clock in the morning, 24th of February. So my city is situated near Kiev. And it actually, so we woke up with my husband and understood that the war had started. So we had to wake up our kids. Our emergency bags were not completed because we hoped that it was just some kind of myth, rumor. So we didn't believe that the war was going to start. So we had to get packed very fast, and we went to the shelter. Our friends invited us to the very secured shelter in our town. And since then, I haven't seen my home. I haven't seen my mom. I haven't seen my dogs and my relatives, because after that shelter, we moved for 150 kilometers from Kiev to Bila Tserkva, which is a native city of my husband. And we stayed there with relatives and friends, a couple of friends in the house. There were 16 people in a little house altogether with many kids. It was okay, but actually it was uncomfortable, yes. And afterwards, we decided that it would be safer for our kids, that I should move forward with kids and my friend and her kid. We were moving to western part of Ukraine, and my husband stayed there in Bila Tserkva. And the day we left, Bila Tserkva was bombed. Luckily, he stayed alive and okay, but 20 houses were damaged with kids and families there. So it was horrible, just horrible.
On the screen, Darina, we were just seeing pictures of your children sleeping on the floor in basements, in these bunkers, in these areas, just to stay safe.
Yes.
How have they been dealing with this? I know that they are young. Remind me of their ages once again, and tell us how they have been dealing with this.
Actually, I think that it's I'm happy that they're so young because they don't understand actually what's going on. I'm telling that we are traveling. We are going to see the other cities. I'm trying to have fun. I entertain them. So the youngest is 1 year and a half. My eldest is 4.5. And so she's helping me. We're a great team. And we've been doing all of this together. So for these 2 weeks, I developed like another spirit. I became totally different person. So for sure. And I'm traveling also with my friend, my best friend. So we've been friends for 15 or 17 years. And she also has a child. So like 2 mothers, 3 kids. And it makes us it helps me that I have somebody on my side.
And I was going to ask you as well, like you said, it's great that your children don't fully understand what's happening and you're entertaining them and letting them know that you're traveling. But how do you keep up that spirit when you yourself know exactly what you're running away from and what's happening in the country?
I have no choice. I understand that it's the only one life, and I don't want my children to live such kind of life, and I want to give them a better future. So that's why I will do everything for them. And that's, I make myself, put myself together. I try to keep positive. I try not to think about the far future, distant future. I just live one day. And I understand that I have a target for one day. I have to make it safe. I have to help my kids grow healthy and happy people. So that's why I will do everything for them. So yes, that's only my strength, my kids.
You have to take it really day by day, hour by hour, and just take it slowly in order to get through the day. I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's the most horrible that you never know. Like you never know when when and where the missile can hit, because nowadays they killed more civilians than military people. So they bombed hospitals, schools, more than 200 schools. Yesterday, they bombed the maternity hospital with pregnant women who are expecting babies. Yeah, so nowadays I understand that I'm luckier than they are. So it's horrible, but yes, I'm luckier that I'm safe and more or less safe and not wounded. Because this is just, I don't know, they're beasts. Because I don't know what kind of human can do that. Families in the cars, killed, bombed with tanks, and that's why I don't stop. As I see that they're approaching the Western Ukraine, I understand that we have to move forward.
And are you hearing any of these bombs going off close by
Yeah,
your
yes,
location?
yes, of course. Yeah, yes, it's rather loud, and we always hear this raid alarm, air raid alarm, and it's just like, for example, it's going on everywhere. So there should, for 100%, that when I'm talking to you now, some of the cities are bombed in Ukraine. So I can talk to my mom on the phone. Luckily, she still has mobile connection, and I hear that they are shooting with the shells, the missiles, and so on. So yes, we live in the constant. Now I'm afraid of fear of sound, like boiler in the flat switched on with some kind of sound, and I'm already jumping because I think that it's a kind of missile flying over us. So it's horrible.
I can't imagine that level of anxiety as you're trying to figure out what your next move is. And I know that initially you were saying that you wanted to stay in Ukraine and you didn't think that it would be
Yeah.
possible to travel with your kids as young as they are. But now are you looking toward possibly leaving the country and trying to get to a border?
Yes, my husband called me and told me that for me and for kids, it would be better to leave Ukraine because the situation is it's not getting better, because NATO, as you know, doesn't want to close the sky, and missiles are continuing flying over us. And if NATO doesn't close the sky, they will just erase Ukraine from the surface. Because that's why I'm leaving. I hope that maybe Poland, Germany, or any other countries. By the way, I have a sister in Canada, so I don't know, maybe it will be like reunited. But I have never thought of leaving my country. I love my country very much, and for me, it's the greatest grief that I have to do that.
Darina, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us this morning. We wish you all of the best as you try to make it to the border. Please stay safe as you travel with
Thank you.
your kids.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Heart-wrenching story from Darina, live from Ukraine this morning. It is 9:08 here.